The courtroom was silent until the judge opened the envelope. His lips twitched, then curved into something I never expected in that cold chamber. A laugh so sharp it cut through the tension like a blade. And in that laugh, my wife's empire of lies collapsed. It hadn't started in court. It started months earlier, with a whisper of doubt I pushed aside. Sophia had always loved luxury, the designer handbags, the weekends in Paris, the art auctions where she smiled as though she belonged in the paintings themselves. I didn't mind. I'd worked for years to build my company, to turn late nights and missed holidays into something tangible. Providing for her felt natural, almost fulfilling. But then, the credit card bills started to swell, charges at places I didn't recognize. She was always evasive. Oh, it's a gift for a friend or just a dinner with the girls. I wanted to believe her. Believing was easier than confronting the sinking weight in my chest. Until the lawyer's letter arrived. It came on a Tuesday, in a thick white envelope sealed with formality. Divorce papers. Filed by her. I sat in my office, the city skyline stretching beyond the glass, reading the cold legal terms that demanded half of everything I had built, half of my blood, sweat, and years. She wanted the house, accounts, even a stake in the company she'd never stepped foot in. I felt my stomach twist. My hands shook. It wasn't just betrayal. It was theft dressed in legal ink. When I confronted her that night, she didn't deny it. "You'll be fine," she said, her voice unnervingly calm. "You have more than enough. And I deserve my share after everything I've given you." I stared at her, my wife, the woman I thought I loved, and all I saw was a stranger who had studied me for years, waiting for the moment to strike. The weeks that followed were chaos. Meetings with lawyers. Whispered gossip from mutual friends. At night, I lay awake replaying every moment of our marriage, searching for signs I had missed. The truth was, they'd always been there. The sudden nights she worked late though she had no job. The way she lit up when my business partners came around, her laughter just a little too bright. The vacations she insisted on planning alone, where I now realized she must have met someone else. Every memory became a puzzle piece forming a picture I didn't want to see. Still, I wasn't helpless. I had built my fortune by knowing when to trust, when to doubt, and when to dig deeper. So I hired someone, a quiet man with sharp eyes who knew how to find truth in shadows. What he uncovered made my blood run cold. Sophia hadn't just planned to take half. She had been siphoning money for years, funneled through shell accounts under a name I didn't recognize at first, until I did. It was him. The man she had been seeing behind my back. The one who showed up in photos of charity galas I'd never attended. She wasn't leaving me because she was unhappy. She was leaving because she thought she'd already won. But if marriage had taught me anything, it was patience. And patience, in this case, became my quiet weapon. On the day of the hearing, the courtroom buzzed with restrained anticipation. Sophia sat across from me, her beauty polished into something sharp, almost cruel. She didn't look at me, only whispered to her attorney with the confidence of someone who thought the game was already over. I sat still, calm, though inside every nerve screamed. My lawyer, a seasoned man who'd seen empires rise and fall, leaned toward me. "Are you sure about this?" I nodded. My hand brushed the envelope in my briefcase. Inside lay the truth. Bank records, photos, proof of the accounts she had created, every transfer that tied her betrayal into something undeniable. When it was my turn, I didn't rant or rage. I simply stood, walked forward, and handed the judge the envelope. "Your Honor," I said quietly. "Before any division of assets is considered, I believe you should see this." The judge opened it, his eyes scanning page after page. The silence stretched until, to my shock, he laughed. A dry, incredulous laugh that filled the chamber. "Mrs. Langford," he said, lifting the papers, "it appears your claim for half his fortune is complicated by the fact that you've been systematically stealing from him for years." The room shifted. Gasps, whispers, Sophia's face draining of color. She reached for her lawyer, but he was already shaking his head, realization sinking in. Her eyes finally met mine then, not with anger, not even with guilt, but with fear. The judge's ruling was swift. Not only was her claim dismissed, but the matter was referred for potential criminal charges. The fortune she had tried to steal became her undoing. When it was over, I walked past her without a word. She called my name once, soft, desperate, but I didn't stop. Outside, the city air hit me like a baptism, cold and sharp. For the first time in months, I could breathe. In the weeks after, people asked me if I felt vindicated, if I felt triumphant. But the truth was more complicated. I didn't feel like I'd won. I felt like I'd buried something, our life, our years, the man I had been when I believed in her. Her betrayal had taken more than money ever could. It had stolen the ease of trust, the softness of love, the innocence of believing someone could want you and not just what you could give. Some nights, I still hear her voice in the back of my mind, insisting she deserved it. And maybe that's the cruelest part of betrayal, not just what they take, but how they make you question if they were ever real at all. The judge laughed that day. The lawyers whispered. My friends congratulated me for being smart enough to see through her scheme. But when I close my eyes, what I remember isn't the laughter. It's the silence in the courtroom right before it. The moment I saw the truth settle in her eyes. That she had lost, that I had known all along. That silence was louder than any gavel. And it was the sound of the life we'd built together finally breaking apart, once and for all.